Hey there everyone, it is AJ Van Rixel and it is time for another video. And in today's video, I am going to be entering the realm of digital art. So I bought myself one of these pen display tablets last year, and I've also had this Clip Studio Paint for a couple of years now, and I've never really delved too much into it. So what I wanted to do was just a sort of warm-uppy type piece and actually get like a proper finished piece done using digital art. Now, I didn't record the initial sketching process. I just went straight on to doing like the bits of the line work and things. And I decided that I was going to have a sort of a very rough aesthetic for this. I didn't want it to be sort of like a really refined finished piece. I just wanted to kind of like work really loosely and get to grips with the program and the tablet, and hopefully I will be able to improve over the coming months. So I'm going to plan to do more of these sort of little sort of mini sketch sessions where I only spend about 2 or so hours doing a piece over the course of like a week or something. To begin with, as you saw, I had the sketch that I'd done, and I thought I'd do sort of like this girl looking over her shoulder with like this fierce look in her eyes and like the mouth expression, because I wanted to work on a bit of expression work as well as I did this. Initially, she started off as not being a sort of cat-eared girl person, but in the end, as I was doing the sort of more refined, if you can call it refined sketch, she did end up having cat ears, which I've been working on kind of incorporating into some of my characters, because in my maybe future novels, there will feature sort of an animal ears type race in there. So a bit of a spoiler alert there. I initially started off when I came to approaching colouring the piece I wanted to kind of like do a realistic-y sort of effect, but I realised that I lacked the skills in order to do that without spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours doing the sort of learning how to do that. So what I just chose to do was, partway through, you can see me sort of, I all of a sudden go straight like back to the original base color that I did, and then I wanted to do like sort of, which I initially planned on doing anyway, sort of like more sort of cell shaded type things there, and I'm actually quite happy with how that turned out. So just a little bit about the colouring process that I adapted here. I used individual layers for like the hair, for the face, and for the eyes, and also for her like sort of kimono type thing that she was wearing. And the way I did that was I did just general blocks of colour, thinking about sort of what I wanted the brightest colour to be, and then also what I wanted like complementary colours wise for like the hair and things. I gave her a bit of a darker skin tone, and I just thought it'd be a bit more exotic like that. I really like the sort of expression that I got with her eyes. I think that it's kind of like sort of somebody's just touched her shoulder and she is looking at that person to say, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, that's kind of like the sort of expression that I wanted there, and it's kind of like got sort of the fierce look on with her mouth and things, and I just like how I managed to get that expression to turn out. With regards to the colour of the hair, I kind of wanted to go sort of like, I wanted initially to do black, but I always find that I struggle with drawing black hair and things, and in the end I opted for a sort of cross between like a bluishy blacky sort of colour. So it's quite a dark blue, but I'm hoping that it will read more as black. I might go back in there at some point and add more black to it, but for now, just as this sort of like little practice sketch type thing, I worked on that. With regards to like line thickness and like using the touch sensitivity, I decided that I was going to just use, for like the colour and stuff, sort of the pen sensitivity. Oh, that's a new word. The pen sensitivity just purely for like line thickness and stuff, and then for like opacity, I decided to keep it at the 100% regardless of how hard I pressed it, which kind of gave me a bit more of a challenge in order to like sort of get different tones and things. Obviously, whatever I went over just then went over those lines, and I'm quite happy with the sort of like effect that I got on this. It kind of gave more sort of like solid colours, and yeah, I'm just overall happy with how the colour turned out for this. With the eyes, I know full well that I could have done much better on those, but for me, the whole exercise was kind of like getting a sort of finished-ishy type piece done within like a sort of 2-hour mark. And although it did take me 2 hours to do, I probably would have liked to have spent a bit more longer. Oh dear. AJ, your English is going down the pan. Yeah, so I'd like to have spent a bit longer doing the overall eyes, but that's something that I might focus on entirely on another sort of video or project or whatever it is that I plan on doing with that. But I'm just overall happy with like the proportions, and as you saw, I rather than just doing what I did for the initial sketch, I did add a bit more stuff with regards to like the pen with regards to the outline. I made some of the strands of hair a little bit longer on her far side, and I'm probably going to look into using layers more effectively. So what I found was, because I had some layers of hair that was behind the skin, and then some layers that were ahead of the skin, if that is how you actually go about phrasing that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, if I might look at making sure that I do the layers of the skin, like basically sort of like more of a sandwich. So you get like the layer of the hair at the front, then the skin, and then the layer of the hair at the back. I think that's how most people normally do it. I'm going to look up at this a bit more, but for me, I'm just wanted to kind of like get used to the tablet, even though I've had it for a year, and also this program. I've used it in the past for like doing my book covers and things like that, but I don't think I've used it to its full effectiveness. So I'm just trying to get used to it. Hopefully you like this particular piece and would like to see more of this. I've certainly enjoyed making this. As I say, it took about 2 hours for me to do, from like just after the initial sketch. I just sat down and played a bit of an audiobook and kind of got used to the pen and things over to the final piece. I might be tempted to make this as a print at some point. I'm kind of like wanting to develop a sort of series of prints ready for like distribution. I might do like sort of development print type thing and just to see, but yeah, that's kind of like where my head's at with regards to that. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I certainly enjoyed making it, and just making the character. I think just from this one particular pose, you can kind of get a lot from her character. I've not named her, so maybe if you wanted to post a comment below, just giving me a suggestion for a name. At the moment, she's known as like cat-eared girl or cat ear girl or cat girl or something like that. But yeah, so until next time, ta-ra.